Welcome to YouTube channel. Myself, Dr. E. Kumraya, Assistant Professor of Mathematics, Sri Rajarajeshwara Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar, Telangana, India. Today I am going to discuss about the Cayley-Hamilton theorem and its applications. Before going to the Cayley-Hamilton theorem, I can give some important definition. A matrix polynomial. A polynomial in matrix. If suppose the elements of a matrix are polynomials in some variable, that means suppose here the matrix A whose elements are polynomials in X, and the degree of each polynomial is at most 3. At most 3 here. That is, the first element is x square plus 2x plus 3, and next one is x cube minus 2x, 5x minus c, and up to so on. These are the elements of the matrix which are polynomials of degree at most 3. Maximum degree is 3 for some elements, for not all elements, for some elements. Now this can be put in the form of collecting the coefficients of x cube, then the x cube into the matrix. The first element there is no x cube, that's why it is 0. In the second element there is x cube coefficient is 1, that's why it is 1 here, 1. And in the third there is no x cube, that's why it is 0. And again there is x cube in the this element, A32 element, that's why it is 1. Like that we collecting the coefficients, x cube coefficients, we will get some matrix. Similarly x square we will get into some matrix, and again x, the x coefficients we are collecting. In the place of 1 1 1 it is 2, in the place of A11 it is 2, it is minus 2, it is minus 6, sorry, plus 5, that's why 2 minus 2 5, and 5 3 3, 5 3 3, and next 1 0 3, 1 0 3. Similarly we collecting the coefficients of constants. These are the 3 0 minus 6 minus 11 minus 4 minus 9 2 1 and minus 8. This is the matrix polynomial. This can be put in the form of x cube into some matrix A3, this is A3, and x square into some matrix A2, this is A2, x into some matrix, this is A1, and a matrix constant 1 into a matrix, this is A0. That's why this can be put in the form of x cube A3 plus x square A square plus x A1 plus A0. This is known as a matrix polynomial of degree 3. The maximum degree is 3, a matrix polynomial of degree 3. Whenever the elements of the matrix are polynomials in degree of at most 3, then the elements of matrix are degree at most n, then the matrix polynomial of degree n. Here the elements of the matrix are degree at most 3, then we will get a matrix polynomial of degree 3. Elements are at most 3, but matrix polynomial is of degree 3. This way we can represent the matrices whenever the elements are polynomials in X. Now we can go for Cayley-Hamilton theorem. The statement of the Cayley-Hamilton theorem is every square matrix must satisfy its characteristic equation. Every square matrix must satisfy its characteristic equation. This is the generalized statement. Every square matrix, you can take every square matrix which must satisfy its characteristic equation. Now let us take the proof of this theorem. Let A be a square matrix of order n, and its characteristic equation is given by determinant of A minus lambda I is equals to 0. Since the order of the matrix is n, then the characteristic equation is of degree n. That means it consists lambda power n, lambda power n minus 1, lambda and constant. And let us take the equation in the form of lambda power n coefficient is an lambda power n, an minus 1 lambda power n minus 1 plus up to so on a naught. Some authors may take lambda power n coefficient is minus 1 power n like that. Now I can take here the coefficients are whatever it may be, I can represent them as an minus 1 up to so on a naught, irrespective of signs, irrespective of quantity. Simply I can take it is an minus 1 up to so on a naught. This is the matrix polynomial matrix. This is the characteristic equation of A. Now the elements of determinant of A minus lambda I. Determinant of A minus lambda I means the diagonal elements are subtracted by lambda. The diagonal elements of A subtract by lambda. That means the diagonal elements are polynomials in degree at most 1, polynomials in degree 1, and remaining elements are polynomials in lambda of degree 0. There is no lambda in the remaining elements. Only for the diagonal elements there is lambda, and its degree is 1. That means at most 1. For considering all elements, the degree of the each element in determinant of A minus lambda is at most 1. And then the elements of adjoint of A minus lambda I. Adjoint of A minus lambda I means the elements of A minus lambda I replaced by cofactors of the matrix A minus lambda I. When we consider the cofactors, that means we neglecting corresponding row and column, take the determinant of remaining matrix, then the elements will become lambda power coefficients. Elements becomes a polynomials in lambda of degree at most n minus 1. That's why the elements of adjoint of A minus lambda I are polynomials of degree at most n minus 1. Whereas the elements of determinant of A minus lambda I are polynomials in here it is not a determinant, this is matrix. The elements of A minus lambda I, matrix A minus lambda I. Determinant means it is a constant. The elements of A minus lambda I are polynomials. The matrix A minus lambda I are polynomials of degree at most 1. Then the elements of adjoint of A minus lambda I are polynomials of degree at most n minus 1. Now let us consider. Therefore, the adjoint of A minus lambda I can be put in the form of, since the elements of adjoint of A minus lambda I are polynomials of degree at most n minus 1, that's why adjoint of A minus lambda I can be put in the form of, using before matrix polynomial, example of matrix polynomial, it can be put in the form of some bn minus 1 matrix into lambda power n minus 1, some bn minus 2 matrix into lambda power n minus 2, some b naught into I. Some b naught into I equal to, oh sorry, it is not 0. This you cannot take. This is not necessary. Adjoint of A minus lambda I can be put in the form of bn minus 1 lambda power n minus 1, bn minus 2 lambda power n minus 2, plus up to so on, b naught I. Here you cannot take, this is 0. Sorry. Now we have A into adjoint of A is equals to determinant of A into I. That's why here A is A minus lambda I. A minus lambda I into adjoint of A minus lambda I equals to determinant of A minus lambda I into I. Now let us substitute A minus lambda I into adjoint of A minus lambda I, that equals to determinant of A minus lambda I. We have, this is A minus lambda I. This is A minus lambda I. This is adjoint of A minus lambda I from equation 2, and this is determinant of A minus lambda I from equation 1. And from these equation we collecting the coefficients of lambda power n on both sides. collect the coefficients of lambda power n on both sides. We have collecting the coefficients of lambda power n on both sides. We have the lambda power n coefficient is given by this lambda into lambda power n minus 1 minus bn minus 1, and right hand side is an into I, that is given by lambda power n coefficient is minus b naught into minus lambda power n coefficient is minus bn minus 1 equal to an into I. Similarly, lambda power n minus 1 coefficient is a into bn minus 1 minus bn minus 2 equal to an minus 1 I. Here you can see here lambda power n minus 1 coefficient equal to lambda power n minus 1 into a into bn minus 1. Lambda power n minus 1, again one more term is this lambda into lambda power n, that is minus bn minus 2, and right hand side is an minus 1 into I. Like that, we collecting the coefficients of lambda power n for different values of n, we will get the equalities like this. This is the first one, and lambda coefficient is ab1 minus b naught into a1I. Lambda power 0 coefficient is ab naught into a1I. Now multiply all these equalities, pre-multiply all these equalities by a power n minus 1, a into I respectively, and adding them on both sides. Then we will get all right hand left hand side terms will become 0, and the right hand terms becomes an small a power n plus an minus 1 a power n minus 1 plus up to so on a naught I is equal to 0. This proves the theorem, that is every square matrix must satisfy its characteristic equation. The characteristic equation is an lambda power n an minus 1 lambda power n minus 1 plus up to so on a naught I equal to 0. Then we get the result an small an capital A power n small an minus 1 capital An minus 1 plus up to so on a naught I equals 0, hence proves the theorem. This is the proof of Cayley-Hamilton theorem. This is very useful in the examination point of view. Now we can discuss the applications of the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. The applications of the Cayley-Hamilton theorem are to find the inverse of the given matrix if the inverse is exist. How we can say that inverse is exist? If the constant term, there is no constant term in the characteristic polynomial or characteristic equation, then we can say that determinant of A0, A inverse not exist. If there is a constant term in the characteristic polynomial, then inverse of a matrix exists. That is nothing but product of the coefficients, that is constant term in the characteristic polynomial. And one more application is find the higher powers of the matrix. The higher powers also we can evaluate by using the Cayley-Hamilton theorem, that we will see in the example. Now the A inverse is given by multiplying this equation on multiplying this equation both sides by A inverse and simplifying it, we will get A inverse is equals to 1 by A naught into an into capital An minus 1 into capital An minus 2 plus up to so on A1 into I. This is the inverse of the matrix, where matrix is of order n and A inverse exists if A naught is not 0. A inverse exists means A naught not 0. Now we can take some simple examples. Let us take A is equals to 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5, 3, 5, 6, which is the symmetric matrix. We can easily observe that the characteristic polynomial of this one is determinant of A minus lambda equal to 0. By simplifying it, we will get lambda cube minus 11 lambda square minus 4 lambda plus 1 equal to 0. Here minus 11 is nothing but sum of the diagonal elements. Trace of A, 1 plus 4 plus 6, that is 11, and 1 is nothing but determinant, and 4 is nothing but sum of the cofactors of the diagonals. The cofactor of 1, cofactor of 4, and cofactor of 6 sum. I can give in the earlier class. Now according to Cayley-Hamilton theorem, every square matrix must satisfy its characteristic equation. That's why a cube minus 11a square minus 4a plus 1i equal to 0. Now we can verify. Now a square is given by a into a. By simplification we will get a square equals to 14, 25, 31, 25, 45, 56, a square 56 and 70. Similarly, a cube is given by a square into a, that is equals to 157, 283, 353, 283, 510, 636, 553, 636, 793. This is the a cube. Here we can observe that one more observation here. A is a symmetric matrix, then a cube also symmetric matrix, a square also symmetric matrix. That means A is a symmetric matrix, then A power n is also symmetric matrix. That is also one property of the symmetric matrices we can observe here. A is a symmetric matrix, then any power of A power n is also symmetric matrix, and also A inverse is also symmetric matrix. That is also important observation here. Now this is the A cube. Now substitute all these values of a cube, a square and a cube in the characteristic polynomial, that is a cube minus 11a square minus 4a plus I equal to 0 implies a null matrix 0 0 0, that is equals to 0. That's why we can say that a square matrix satisfies its characteristic equation. Now we can go for finding the inverse of a matrix. The inverse is given by simplifying it, multiplying both sides by A inverse. This becomes 1 into A inverse. A inverse is left side, and take all the remaining terms to right hand side. We will have A inverse equals to minus A square plus 11A plus 4i. Substituting here minus A square plus 11A plus 4i, now we will get the A inverse is 1 minus 3 2 minus 3 3 minus 1 2 minus 1 0. Here also we can observe that A inverse is symmetric. A is symmetric, then A inverse also symmetric. Like that we can find the inverse of a given matrix using Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Now we can take another example to find the higher powers of A. Let us consider a matrix which is of 2 by 2 order 2 by 2. Its characteristic polynomial, characteristic equation is given by lambda square minus 5 equal to 0. Here there is no lambda term since the trace of A is 0. That's why coefficient of lambda is 0. That's why there is no lambda term. Simply lambda square minus 5 equal to 0. By Cayley-Hamilton theorem, A square minus 5i equal to 0, which implies A square equals to 5i. Now consider A square into A square into A square into A square, which becomes A power 8 equal to A square into A square into A square into 5i, multiplying both sides by A square thrice, 3 times. Now we will have left hand side is A power 8, right hand side is A square is 5i, 5i into 5i into 5i into 5i. 5 power 4 is 625, 625 into I. That's why A power 8 is 625 into I. Like that we can find any power of A by using the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. These are the important applications of Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Okay, in the next class we are going to discuss with diagonalization of a matrix and application of the diagonalization and condition for the diagonalization of a matrix. Thank you one and all.